Hello, everyone. Okay, March 2025 planetary alignments and aspects. Go ahead and take a screenshot of this page so you can match it to your natal chart. I am okay. 14th to the 22nd, 27th to the 30th. Seems harmless, doesn't it? Um, I am also going to give you some dates: Venus retrograde and shadow. So those dates in degrees. Mercury retrograde and shadow, and the 2025 eclipse schedule. And I'm also, as you can see, giving you some dates in the past, so maybe it can give you another clue. And I gave you a little key contrast of Pisces Virgo axis. So healing would be Pisces. So North Node, South Node. So Pisces is healing versus actual health, Virgo. Spirituality, Virgo rationalizes. Sympathy, empathy regarding Pisces. Virgo is more like boundaries with that. Ethereal, material for Virgo. Fantasy illusion, realism for Virgo. So I'm going to get into the introduction. So let me change screens. Hi, everyone. Okay, so I'm going to be doing March's forecast a little differently. I'm putting out a general overall astrology for March, and explaining the consequences or reverberations of it all. Then I will be going over the planetary alignments and aspects and mentioning the signs that will be most affected by it. And then I will give you um, a snippet or a couple of minutes of what it means for each sign, really concentrating on the major aspects at the end of the video. So after I upload this video, I will be putting out a more detailed, like, week scope the following week for each individual sign. Then I'll do a detailed mid to end of March forecast for each sign. I hope I didn't confuse you with that. Okay, so I'm choosing to do it this way this month because there is a lot going on in March. I mean, not a lot of aspects, but heavy duty things that are going to come up. And it really needs an introduction, an explanation of the background noise or overarching themes, because it is a lot to digest. And I think when you digest that info by breaking it up this way, is when you can understand your individual forecasts with a clearer context. I'll also admit that this will also, and hopefully, free me up to be able to upload dedicated videos, such as your infamous 5 year ahead Pluto and Aquarius videos that I keep mentioning, which I have written out since December, but still haven't had the chance to record them. And you guys know my story, but for newer listeners, I work full time, going through my own changes. And if you haven't noticed, I'm certainly new to this social media platform techie stuff. I'm also using an outdated laptop with not enough memory, plus some, the software is outdated. Such as you can see, I use Notepad where I can't make like better visual charts and can't insert pictures because, in my opinion, visuals help you retain more info, as we only retain like 30% of what we hear. But with visuals, we retain more. I think like 20% more. And adding stories gives you another 10% retention, something like that. It's been a long time since my college communication classes. Not to mention, I'm using a generic video editor, which, with not enough memory with my laptop and trying to meet deadlines, and oh God, Mercury retrogrades. Well, let's just say it really bites. Like I've said, I'm learning as I go and can only ask for your patience as I grow through these growing pains. All right, enough of my whining. The other thing I want to mention is some people told me that they were actually referred by a channel called Lunatic Astrology, and I don't even know who that is, but I did sneak a peek at it. It's an excellent channel, so I just want to give a shout out to that. I will link in the description their channel. So thank you, Lunatic Astrology. That was amazing. All right, so let's get into crazy March. And the show really starts towards the middle of March. That's another reason that I'm choosing to do a detailed mid to late March forecast later. Anyway, I've titled March's astrology The Long Kiss Farewell. I don't know if you have ever seen the movie The Long Kiss Goodnight, but it's basically about an ordinary woman who's a teacher, and then she starts to have dreams, visions of like not so ordinary life. and she abruptly has revelations of physical strength and techniques, which she has no idea how she obtained. Finally, she discovers that she is a well trained government assassin who went missing after suffering a bout of amnesia, and that her former handlers want her back in their employment. So I'm titling this March forecast video as such for two reasons. One is because we have a serious Virgo eclipse, this will be exactly how Virgos will feel, like this super hidden inner power that gets recalled from the past, probably from childhood. And she or he will be in demand like no other after this. So put on your sunglasses, Virgo. You're going to be in the spotlight big time. And for everyone else, your Virgo related house is going to be an unprecedented spark of change that will reverberate in other areas of your lives, especially in relations to the house that Virgo rules, which is the sixth house. And that includes health, habits, routines, scheduling. Small pets are covered here as well. It's the house of chaos and gossip. And then the second reason I'm titling this month The Long Kiss Farewell is because this month has Mercury and Venus retrograding between two signs. And this is a rare Venus retrograde. She usually doesn't do retrogrades. Um, Plus, Mars has yet to finish with Cancer. It is direct now. Um, and it's going over the degrees from back in October, and yet to go direct uh, in Leo regarding December's degrees. With all the major planets changing signs, and yet another retrograde during the latter half of the year, uh, with all the planets going in the previous signs, it absolutely is the long kiss farewell. And if you remember in the February forecast, I did mention that, again, this is in my opinion, 2025 will really be dominated by the Neptune and Pisces weather. Um, I mean, we'll have these changes, but the background noise will be that. And the grand finale is happening over and over and over again. The new really is short lived. Um, well, not really short. I don't know if that's a good word. Like I mentioned in February's forecast, um, it's like a movie trailer of what to expect starting next year with these new changes. May, June, July, and some of August, or most of August. So think of like Pluto in Aquarius when it popped in last year between January and July. Okay, and we got like a feel of it. Um, and that shift was not even inclusive of all planets changing signs. So it is sort of this Neptune and Saturn and Pisces ending. It will be like in three phases. It starts with the end of March, end of May, and end of September, starting through the end of the year. Okay. Now, mid to late March, early April, um, will actually be ending the January to mid March period um, that of this year, which is basically like an extension or an addendum of the fall of 2024. Especially with the lunar eclipse in Virgo, it will be the end of an era. So, yeah, an end of an era. Societal and government structures will end one way or another. And this will be like trickle down economics regarding our own personal lives, uh, with what's going on with society and government. Because there's big endings here. And we can see that with our own government, with the way they're dismantling some structures to rebuild them in another way that's more efficient. Now, uh, the other thing is that I'm noticing is towards the end of March, maybe into early April, there it looks like there is going to be some sort of a financial situation or shift. Um, and why I'm hesitating or why I'm using my words carefully is I don't want to sound like an alarmist, one, and two, I'm certainly not a financial expert, so do not take any of this information as um, like as financial advice. This is just for entertainment and informational purposes. With that out of the way, yes, there seems to be some significant shift with finances. So just keep a note on that. Okay. In any case, once all the inner planets finish up with the retrogrades, has already gone direct, um, and you have been feeling the Mars direct motion in Cancer. You even that first day that it went direct, a lot has been happening. You've been wrapping up a lot of things regarding your Cancer related house. And then finally, it leaves its fall in Cancer on April 17th. And Venus and Mercury will be finished retrograding through Pisces and Aries also. And eclipse season is over because we'll have, like I mentioned, the Virgo eclipse mid-month, and then we'll have a partial solar eclipse, so something new in Aries by the end of the month. So, well, we will have one eclipse in September, but that's a standalone. So things will be so different come summer that the current issues we are currently like experiencing now will not even exist um, altogether or in the same way anymore. We will not feel that they are as important or critical as we may be feeling now. And of course, that can be subjectively viewed as air quotes good or bad, but trust me on this, life is going to be very different come summer. These issues that we're having right now, like I said, will not be that important. That's my pug. Sorry about the barking background noise. All right. Um, so all the heavy hitting outer planets changing signs within a New York minute of like 5 months. Oh, by the way, New York minute is like slang for really fast. We are going to experience unprecedented things. This is a once in a lifetime event as outer planets do not change signs all at the same time. Another notable thing about this is not only are all the outer planets changing signs, excuse me, all of them except Jupiter um, are going into fire and air signs and leaving earth and water signs. That is huge. That's significant. Jupiter will be the only planet that will be in a water sign of Cancer. And Jupiter is exalted in Cancer, so that's going to be very, very good for everyone. Um, in my opinion, the absence of fire and energy since pretty much 2018 can explain the reluctance or like any substantial like lack of resistance from people and how we've all been alone. Like each of us have been like either withdrawing or being alone. That is ending. Um, Especially with Uranus going into an air sign. Yeah, it's been like tick, tick, tick. The last week of March will be the ignition, the igniting of a match, and July to August I think, will be the boom. Then with the retrogrades, we'll be back to a reflection and revision mode. And trust me, it's not going back to, like I've mentioned before, the same old, same old. It will be actually much appreciated because there'll be so much going on that we'll welcome that reprieve, that slowdown. And I think what'll be noticeable, I mean, not beating a dead horse, but what will be noticeable is that we will most likely feel the absence first before we feel the presence of change. Okay, so think of the energy of like between October last year and January this year. How especially with the Aries supermoon total lunar eclipse and Pluto leaving Capricorn, a lot of things ended then. A lot of changes happened then. But with those endings, some of us were sort of left with nothing, um, trying to figure things out. And I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing with you because, my God, if I didn't have my pug licking away my tears, then I don't know what I would have done. So yeah, so that absence until then we started, you know, getting busy with things in January. So yes, we will feel the change. However, it'll be like, I don't know, how is this affecting my life and for the better or worse? How it will affect your life will be somewhat noticeable by June, July, definitely. And as I mentioned, September is sort of a neutral month. Something like you'll feel the emptiness of Neptune and Saturn in Pisces and Uranus in Taurus much more than we'll feel Neptune and Saturn in Aries, as Neptune and Saturn will only cover like the first few degrees of Aries. Okay? I mean, there will be noticeable things that'll happen regarding Aries, especially in the news, government, and social media. Um, and that will eventually trickle down to us, but we will also, you know, we will start seeing a yearning for something regarding our Aries related house. And Aries is the first house of the zodiac, so it rules the face and the head. Um, so image, persona, how we are seen is going to be like a, and it's a fire sign, so there will be some kind of fire that'll be lit up under us for a yearning to look a certain way, to be presented a certain way, and in relation to your Aries related house. So, for example, um, Pisces. Aries is your second house of job, money, income, and value system. It, um, excuse me. So that will be very much on your mind, as well as the image that your job portrays of you, or your value system, how you value yourself will be the image that you want to be like, presented in the world. And then in your natal chart, Aries might be in another area of your life. All right, I won't go too much into that because I don't want to confuse anyone. And remember, any all comments I do answer, so you can leave questions in the comment section. Now, Uranus changing signs is the wild card because it usually comes in with a bang, like I've mentioned before. When Uranus entered Aries back in 2011, and at the same time, the Fukushima nuclear explosion happened. But with Uranus entering Taurus, we probably many of us don't remember what really happened then because Taurus is an Earth sign. It's a fixed sign. It's somewhat stubborn for any change. But Uranus entering Gemini this summer and leaving Taurus, I think I'm going to go out on a limb, and I think it will be a bang. We'll feel it definitely because it is an air sign, like I said, and Gemini covers like the daily, our daily habits, communication, community, siblings, cousins, extended family, social media, um, and all that. So, yeah, look for something big, like an explosion of something that'll be coming in with that Uranus in Gemini. Explosion in a metaphorical, like a good way, like a surprise. I mean, uh, God forbid anything, happens with commuting. But yeah, it, Uranus is the planet of shock and surprise, so we can't really predict. But I'm going to be predicting something about commuting, communication that's going to be big in the news then. All right. And probably your most stable area that you may even be retreating to, um, ironically, with all these changes, will be your Aquarius related house. And I say it ironically because many people um, associate like with Pluto, and now it being in Aquarius, Pluto is the god of the underworld. So many people are like fearful of Pluto, or they think of like control or power plays. Um, but like I mentioned, Aquarius is a air sign. It's very uplifting and it's a fast sign. So that area of your life started changing back in November, and you've been seeing fast and steady advancement in the last few months. Plus, because we have seen the transformation of Pluto in Capricorn, now it is a place where it's like you're comfortable in. So that's why I'm saying you may be, if you encounter any sort of chaos and whatever, you'll sort of be retreating to these areas of Aquarius and Capricorn. Um, so yeah, I did want to mention, uh, like especially your Capricorn related house. So for example, Sagittarians have gone through a huge transformation regarding their second house of job, income, and their value system, how they value themselves. The eighth house is how other people value us. And Sagittarians now being empowered of how to uh, succeed here, if not for now, stay afloat financially, because many Sagittarians are between jobs or they're starting some kind of creative entrepreneurial thing, but they are on solid footing here. Same for other signs regarding their Capricorn house. Again, another example is Cancer. They are definitely they are very keen on reading a partner, whether platonic, personal, or business, even enemies, because the seventh house rules open enemies. They know whether they're a friend or foe, or of how to deal with control issues, and know how to maneuver any type of relationship. Really, same for Leo. You want to know about anything related to health and routines? Ask them. So yeah, the new millionaires or on their way to it are definitely Sagittarians. Trust me on this. The new health gurus are Leos, and the new partnership experts are Cancer. Just a few examples. And just a little on Cancer, Jupiter will be entering Cancer in June, July. Lots of people are going to be having lots of babies for the next 12 years and buying homes. Definitely homes and real estate, that's all going to be in there. A big emphasis on family and family values is on track. Okie dokie. So all done with that. Now let's go over the the major planetary aspects. And after I explain what they are, I will, like I said, mention the signs most affected. And then at the end, I will give just a short synopsis for each sign. All right, I got to change screens or change my video thing. Okay, so the first aspect we have is on the first March 1st, Venus stations retrograde in Aries. So again, I've mentioned this before. Don't be don't like fixate on you know this date or this hour or what have you. It's because these aspects that I'm going to discuss are going to be the major ones. So they are not a 1 day, 1 hour type of a deal. Okay. So in any case, Venus stations retrograde in Aries. So the disclosure is no new purchases or physical changes, um, because uh, so if Venus attracts beauty, love, money, and fame, that lingo, when it's going direct, the opposite may happen when it turns retrograde. So think of jealousy, impatience, because Venus is in Aries, and Aries is headstrong, ruled by Mars, the god of war. So you may also encounter bossy people, and going down the worst scale, excuse me, maybe gaslighting, ad hominem attacks, slander, defamation, because Aries is the first house, so it rules the first house of image and how people see you. It's your profile. But Aries retrograde can also be good, as you can revisit maybe a new relationship and see if it's a good fit. Because when a planet retrogrades, yes, it is going over the degrees um, that it has, transgressed, but it goes deeper, as in checking under the hood for maybe anything hidden that she may have missed. That is Venus. That is why I think it is a good method. What is a good method is when you know a planet will retrograde, try to keep a journal of what it is, what it's doing when it's going direct. Um, Venus retrograde can most definitely also bring people from the past, whether family, friends, or personal, platonic, or business partners. Um, in this instance, and if it is an intimate partner or a lover from the past, it is temporary for two reasons. One is for the closure that may have not happened before, or it can be for a reconciliation. And if it is a reconciliation, I wouldn't call it that temporary, but part of that can be. But the reconciliation is to see if you two can surmount problems of Venus's, and I'm doing air quote, ugly side. So for example, a former lover comes back and both you and them say, okay, I accept you with all your faults, with all my faults. And you can make it out of this retrograde and are still willing on moving forward, then it is solid. That relationship is solid as a rock, and nothing in the future can really break it up. I mean, there will be new challenges that all normal, healthy relationships deal with, because it's dynamic. But there will be an understanding that both of you can surmount it. Um, the last thing I'll say about this Venus retrograde in Aries specifically is pay attention to the issues, as this is a movie trailer of when Saturn enters Aries will be about. I've mentioned that before. The issues, boundaries, restrictions, or trials you may endure to build a strong foundation. That's what Saturn does. And of course, with Neptune soon entering Aries, this retrograde will point out any illusions that Neptune may create. That may be a problem, down the line. Neptune in Aries will feel something of like a burning, yearning desire, um, but also a dreamy vacation. And it's most likely regarding, definitely for Aries, regarding image, persona, and as far as being confident yet being compassionate, like the hero's journey, but physically also reflecting that. You'll see a lot of changes with probably color and makeup and like fashion, and with like trinkets or jewelry. I bet if you look at spring fashion shows or maybe summer, you'll start to notice vibrant colors and probably models with a strident, confident walk. I mean, I can go on, but I'll switch to some suggestions for Venus retrogrades. So be careful of how and when you also spend money. If you must buy something, try used goods or thrifting. That can save you a lot of money. I don't know what's wrong with my phone. It's like it was quiet for like 5 hours. Um, yeah, when you're thrifting, Venus retrograde rewards you in that sense, where you can save a lot of money, and you'll also remember and adore that item for many years to come. I've tried it, and it does work. For those people who are thinking of business ideas to start on a Venus retrograde, not really recommended to start a business on a Venus retrograde, but if you have to, um, or you have to come up with ideas, think of maybe a thrift shop where you can accept like donated items, which will save you a ton on stocking up on merchandise, or any business that you can revamp or repurpose something. All right. So moving on. We also have Mercury conjunct the North Node in Pisces. So there'll be discussions, texts, phone calls, emails, agreements, and or negotiations regarding a new karmic opportunity regarding your Pisces related house. So pay attention to that. And Venus will retrograde as well, these degrees. So you'll have a second triad and a third tri. But uh, remember, with a retrograde, it's usually a reversal, cancel, or some kind of change. All right. And the signs most affected with the March 1st transit will be Aries, Taurus, Cancer, Libra, and Pisces. Um, and maybe, yeah, I wanted to make sure I covered that. The other thing um, that we have is on right after, on March 2nd, Sun in Pisces will square Jupiter in Gemini. So the thing with Jupiter is it is all about faith. So just keep that in mind as I explain this aspect. So with this energy, think of expansion because it is Jupiter. The sun is illuminating something regarding your Pisces related house, and it can relate oddly enough to money. Um, Neptune and Pisces has to do with money also. But the square is a hard aspect. So maybe an uncomfortable conversation or push to have help or resolution from your Gemini related house. So, for example, let's take Scorpio. Um, Something that is illuminated regarding their love child or creative project, because Pisces for Scorpio is their fifth house, um, is maybe pushing them to be more intimate, or it can be about a child's needs, is pushing them to dip into joint finances more, or to end or transform something about intimacy or joint finances. Um, Scorpios have been seeing a boon in this area of joint finances and intimacy, and that may be projecting an optimistic view regarding their house of romance and children. Whatever is stuck between these two houses will jumpstart here. Something will be jump started because it's a square. It is a hard aspect, but there is mutual reception, um, as Jupiter is the co-ruler of Pisces. So Scorpio's Pisces house is benefiting from whatever has been expanding regarding their house of sex, death, and taxes. This expansion can also be related to communication, siblings, cousins, or social media, because Gemini rules that house natally. The thing with Jupiter, like I said, is about faith. So the details are not nearly as important as it is about the big idea. It is about thinking big and being optimistic and extending that optimism to your creative project. This is in regards to Scorpio's example. It is having a renewed, larger than life faith about spirituality or the hidden world. It is not about doing things the same old way, but in being more audacious, fearless, and doing things differently, more like with adventure in mind. Okay, the other aspect that we have on the second is the moon conjuncting Chiron in Aries. So whatever comes up regarding your image or wherever Aries falls for you, you will feel like an old wound is like being opened up, or a past hurt. But you will feel that you can surmount this as Mars has gone direct and Mercury is going direct, and both in Aries. I mean, I know Mars is in Cancer, but it still rules Aries, and this benefits your Aries related house. So in this case, this hurt will endeavor you to make changes or defend them um, about this hurt, because you'll feel grounded regarding your roots, or maybe a matriarchal figure is salving that past hurt, because Cancer rules the family and the mother. Um, so something like my mother salved my perception of my past hurt, something like that. Um, and let's, for example, take Gemini. So, for example, Geminis may feel or remember a past hurt regarding a friend or a group, and it may have been related to money and or how you put a value on that. Your salving may come or been about a matriarchal or a family figure that may have helped you financially, or you them. It could have been you were in a tight spot financially and you started caring for your mother or family, and a friend may have set you up maybe with a government benefit that supports that. And maybe, taking it further to the hurt, maybe your mother or your family didn't like this friend, and that navigation between the two brings up some sort of a value hurt. Um, and the second house is how you value yourself. I mean, it can be, this is like a wild example, but this actually has happened to a Gemini I know, and that's that's how it can play out. Of course, maybe differently for each person. So the signs that will be affected with these two, with the Sun in Pisces squares Jupiter in Gemini and Moon conjuncts Chiron in Aries, will be Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius, and Pisces. Okay, on March 3rd, Mercury enters Aries, which is amazing. I've mentioned before, Aries is a very fast thinker, and Aries can outthink as fast as a Gemini can outtalk someone. And Aries rules the first house of the face and head. So here you will start feeling fired up and ready to go with a much clearer mind. You won't feel as foggy or confused as you may have been feeling of late with Mercury in Pisces. Uh, Take good advantage of this, as Mercury will turn retrograde in 2 weeks on March 15th, um, as it is already in shadow of its Pisces ingresses. All right. I mean, I know it's going direct in Aries here, but it's in shadow of its Pisces ingresses, because when it retrogrades, it doesn't just retrograde over these Aries degrees; it retrogrades all the way back into Pisces. So yeah, use this time to take advantage of clearing up the fog regarding your Pisces related convos also, and coming up with intellectual, effective ideas regarding your Aries related house. So, for example, let's take Sagittarius. Whatever had you dazed about your home and family, that is your Pisces house, in relation to maybe a romance or a child, which is your Aries house, you'll be able to clearly come up and concisely converse creative ideas or plans to move things forward, which will give your image a boost here. Yeah, I'm throwing I'm throwing an image because I want to drill in that the background noise, the overarching thing, is about image because it's Aries. So the signs most affected with this Mercury in Aries will be Aries, Gemini, Leo, Virgo, and Sagittarius. All right, on March 5th, Mercury in Aries will semi-sextile Pluto in Aquarius. So if Mercury is communication, and Aries is about confidence and image, and Pluto is about secrets and the past, and Aquarius is about freedom and future knowledge, this sextile can translate in like reading between the lines. Whether it is how you or others appear in relaying this information, that will affect you in the future, especially as it relates to your Aquarius related house. It can be about your career, maybe family, friends, or a project, or even about technology, AI research, UAPs, and so forth. Aries is a sign that doesn't relent. It's a very forward um, moving sign. And Aquarius is the sign of exacting freedom. So there is something there to be further investigated, especially when Mercury retrogrades back. This is teaching you the art of communication and being savvy and reading, yeah, like I said, between the lines. So let's take the example of Leo. Leo may suggest an agreement or start a conversation about maybe a trip or higher education or about a foreigner, and their partner might agree and maybe hesitantly. And Leos end up with more questions than answers here. It may be because their partner, Aquarius, may see a learning curve or obstacle about um, whatever their suggestion regarding language, maybe new passport rules or technology in the future of that trip or higher education, but is not communicating it that way, but in a way where Leos have to like I said, read between the lines. I don't know if that was a good example, but again, I answer all questions, so you can leave your comments, your questions in the comments, and I'll answer them. But it is something like reading between the lines on March 1st. Okay, and the signs most affected will be Aries, Gemini, Leo, Virgo, Libra, Sagittarius, and Aquarius. Um, so yeah, all you fire and air signs. All right, on March 8th, the Sun in Pisces trines Mars in Cancer. Nice. And then the Sun in Pisces will semi square Pluto in Aquarius. So the Sun here is again illuminating something regarding your Pisces related house that may have taken you a long time to see it for what it is. Okay. But back then, you were maybe hesitant to make that call or try a different approach. Excuse me. Well, now that Mars is direct, you are able to call on your Cancer related house of your roots and confidence to take a chance with a different way of resolving this. When you take the initiative and take over, others will be swayed to your side. Um, so let's take an example of Libra. And some Libras are going through separations or divorces, especially since since last October with those eclipses, and for weeks or maybe months, been going around in circles, maybe in coming to an agreement with a partner, if there are also children involved, or even trying to find the right lawyers to handle maybe their case. Missed messages, unanswered calls, and being patient for the callbacks, hoping on faith, has been trying the is like trying the same old tack and getting the same results. So this day, or starting this day, you take matters in your own hands, even at the risk of ruffling feathers, and maybe even uh, like you'll camp out at the court and catch your lawyer for answers, or maybe like give ultimatums, because after all, it is about your career status and your reputation that is on the line. You do need to get this moving, um, because Cancer rules your 10th house. And to your surprise, taking a different approach, may it be unconventional or not, does get you at the answers and the acclaim or accolade of others who are important to your career. Remember, the 10th house is not only about business careers, which for other Libran, some other Libran, it will be about. But the 10th house is about your status, your reputation. And when I say status, it's like married, not married, single, not single, uh, something like that. And the 10th house also rules authority figures that can make or break you. Um, yeah, and so I hope I gave you a good example, but just remember that trine is a very good aspect. It's giving you the confidence here. And the signs that will be most affected here will be Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Virgo, Libra, Sagittarius, and Aquarius. Okay. Now, on March 11th, let me just check the time. Good. Okay. March 11th, the Sun in Pisces, semi sextiles, Chiron in Aries, but most importantly, Mercury conjuncts Venus in Aries. Okay, so this combined energy is very healing and can be physical. It's ethereal and material. On this day, you may like meet a kindred spirit that you don't know from Adam. Okay, let's just say like a random stranger you bump into, and they pick up your fallen items when they bumped into you, or and made you drop them, or maybe like offer to buy you a coffee that they made you spill when you bumped into each other. I mean, it's just an example. Go for it. It is synchronicity here, and the heavens are on your side. The universe is saying enough of testing the waters with like being a keyboard warrior or swiping left or right with your dating app. The universe is setting up a physical meeting and setting up a situation to take advantage of. Or maybe it is you who has devised like a sudden bumping into someone that you want to explore further. Uh, Something like one of those cute rom-com movie intros openers, because this conversation can go on for hours, days, and even longer. Okay, so that's a nice day to look forward to and on. Signs most affected will be Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Virgo, Libra, Sagittarius, and Aquarius. On March 13th, the Sun conjuncts Saturn in Pisces. And here comes the party pooper. Poor Saturn, he gets such a bad rap. And that's my nickname for him. No, but seriously, because this is a serious aspect, it is about facing and accepting some kind of a responsibility after maybe even avoiding it for a while. Um, so it is important to note that this will be the last conjunction with Pisces, meaning this is a make or break moment, and that may translate to some kind of fear surrounding it. Uh, but it's not Pluto, so I want you to don't think that this fear is like it'll be surmountable. It is Saturn, meaning Pluto can be a little tricky or underhanded, but Saturn is quite different. Saturn, I mean, even Pluto, but Saturn is here to help you build strong foundations. And he does not do tricky or underhanded. He is about the straight and narrow and facts. He rules very straight and narrow Capricorn. And because it is Pisces, there may be confusion associated with it. And that is why it may be a difficult moment since Saturn has to, clamp down on something. Like um, if you've ever tried to catch a fish, it's very slippery. So there needs to be like, yeah, sorry, my um, time ran out. So yeah, if they're very slippery, so there needs to be this clamp down, this surefire way of clamping something down. In any case, Saturn has rings, and that is the boundary lines that you have to work with or within. And when you do face this responsibility, you may be so delighted because there will be like an instant relief and a feeling of growth and confidence thereafter. So let's, for example, take Capricorn. Uh, Something regarding Capricorn's communication, because that's what Pisces rules, has been illuminated for Capricorn and others to see. So if Capricorn maybe chose a more sympathetic mode of communicating to maybe avoid a negative outcome, um, I don't want to say lied because Capricorns usually don't lie, but in any case, it led to the other party being um, misled to believe something else. It is here that Capricorns need to accept this responsibility and own it for what may have been, a fallout or other things that may have been affected by it. Okay, and I say that it will be um, a relief, and it's not like Pluto here because everyone in this situation will accept responsibility, and it is salvageable. It's not like total destruction like Pluto. Pluto will completely destroy something to rebuild it. But Saturn is not like that. Saturn will let you go out so far, but then the rings. Remember again the rings. He will not let you go over that because his intent is not to destroy something. His intent is to build a stronger foundation. Um, okay, so with that, the signs most affected will be Leo, Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces. All right. By the way, that's my pug. um, and I know return listeners know that, but just in case we have new listeners, that's my pug snoring, and I just don't have the heart to like push him away. All right, March 14th, we do have dum da da dum, a full moon total lunar eclipse in Virgo. So let me first briefly describe Virgo. And returning listeners, you might pick up something that you may have missed before, but for the sake of new listeners, Virgo was the executive assistant, a very, very special and knowledgeable and indispensable executive assistant of the gods. Virgo rules the sixth house of the solar chart, ruling health, routines, schedules, and scheduling, um, rituals. Small pets are also inclusive in this house. And the sixth house is called the house of chaos and gossip. Virgo is ruled by the higher octave of Mercury. So her mind, um, I'm laughing because as I'm saying this, and my pug snoring is getting louder. So yeah, higher octave of Mercury. So her mind and words are critically sharp, honing in and identifying a specific problem that others might not even, think of. But that problem may cause a bigger problem. Uh, she has a mastery of languages and communication, where she can translate the most difficult or nuanced conversation to like a short, concise couple of sentences and in layman's terms where everyone can understand, which also makes her the most interesting and captivating conversationalist. They really are, especially her quick and sometimes really comical wit. They can be extremely funny, but like even with this sarcasm, it's unique how they do it. Virgos are famous for being analytical. She rules organizations, an organization, and common sense. Virgo is the Supreme Court Justice's assistant, knowing every ruling, code, case, dates, and the arguments of both defendants and plaintiffs, and the combination of laws that can be applied with knowing the Constitution by heart. That's how um, that's how detailed and sharp their minds are. What I'm trying to lay out here is the power and influence that Virgo has. Virgo is the glue that holds everything in place and has acute knowledge of each of the components that are glued together. And if Virgo decides to, excuse me, walk out, or if there is a disruption in her efforts, it goes to chaos. And that is why the sixth house that Virgo rules mentions the house of chaos and gossip. And what is important to know is that Virgo herself knows the veracity of that and does not take haughty attitude. Uh, as they say in French, au contraire. On the contrary, Virgos know what the fallout would be, and actually humbly um, sacrifices her ego to again bring order out of chaos. So that is the background that will be playing out regarding wherever Virgo lays in your solar chart, and of course your natal birth chart, wherever it is. Um, so what has been building up here is the indifference, or maybe I'll do an analogy like the sludge or dirt or grime that has been continuously building around the thinking, responses, or activities that may have been like second nature. Um, like not worrying about how your lungs process oxygen to the blood system and how that blood circulation is essential to everything else. Because well, it's like always been there. So you don't really worry about it. That's how that's how Virgos work. Like they're very dependable as well. So basically, this eclipse is the universe eclipsing something that you have been toiling with maybe no recognition or appreciation of your efforts, where you may have been exploited or you have exploited something. Whereas this eclipse is signaling the old way of doing things is no longer cutting it. There has to be a new focus, a new health routine, a new routine, a new schedule. Um, that's going to have to be upgraded to cut it with these upcoming shifts and changes that will overtake our lives. This will probably be associated for most with a job or a career, for the most part. And here you need to hack the old way or system of approach and create the demand for your newfound place um, in this changing world. Maybe creating a niche product, service, or a business that is unique and can be in demand, creating or carving out something that is useful where you will be in demand. So let us take Virgos, for example. This eclipse will sever any doubts Virgo had about themselves. So the easiest example is the imposter syndrome that Virgos sometimes struggle with, as they don't like the limelight and would rather stand behind that CEO, their powerful partner, their formidable company, or God, their nuclear scientist child, adult child. Um, even though without them they would struggle, like even though without the Virgo they would have struggled. They are what they are because of Virgo's toil. Virgos will be shedding that persona and stepping more and more into the spotlight and being more confident. Now this eclipse naturally opposes the Pisces sun, and yes, for those that are having problems, and I'm talking about serious problems in their relationship, not fighting over trivial things, uh, this will be ending partnerships or coming very, very close to the edge of it. It is a total lunar eclipse. So I'm going to side on the air of ending. But if they do stay, there will be new rules and dynamics. Again, partnerships can be personal, business, or platonic, and even enemies, because the seventh house is about open enemies. Um, the Virgos that have a healthy, solid relationship, this can just be related to how you and your partner deal with other partners. Excuse me. So sorry. Or how you deal with other people. It is not about your partnership. So please be at ease with that. Um, or it could be the toil that Virgo has always been doing and not complaining within your partnership ends here and is delegated more equally. On a global scale, I just pray that world leaders keep common sense and approach issues in a new way to avoid any escalations, because Virgo is really representative of a much larger picture. And this is a powerful eclipse here. Um, so, yeah, look to your Virgo related house for this eclipse. For example, if you are Cancer, it would be Cancer, Leo, Virgo. So it would be your third house of communication, commuting, siblings, social media, cousins, extended family. Uh, for um, for Taurus, it would be you just count Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo, and Virgo. So it would be your fifth house of love, romance, children, creativity, and gambling. Uh, so it might be an ending to maybe a romance, but like I said, you might take it, you might end that serious date and become engaged, or it might be if you're maybe a new couple, you might know that you're pregnant, and so it ends that relationship that was before, and now you're going to be parents, something like that. All right. Always think positive, people. Always think positive. The power of the mind. In any case, the signs most affected will be Taurus, Cancer, Virgo, Scorpio, Capricorn, and of course, Pisces. All right, March 15th, Mercury stations retrograde in Aries. So pay attention. I always say pay attention to the day the planet stations. It is that energy. Uh, I mean, it's just a perception, but it is that energy of the vibration that when it stations, something of the ethereal happens where you get like a sneak peek. Okay, so basically, the common retrograde rules apply here. Have plan A, B, C, and D with whatever you're planning related to your Aries related house. Um, and especially if it has anything to do with how you appear physically and your persona, your profile, because again, Aries rules the first house. If any agreements um, had been signed while Mercury was direct in Aries, or talked about me during this retrograde, it might become reversed, put on hold, or gets changed somehow, and probably has to do with uh, maybe money, a creative or spiritual, or a past obligation. Um, because we won't get the final resolution of Mercury going direct in Aries until, like I mentioned, it also retrogrades all the way back into Pisces, um, gets that info, and then starts going direct in Aries. I hope I didn't confuse you with that. So Mercury usually only retrogrades in one sign back and forth. But with this year, and there have been other times, but especially with this year, with all these shifts, there's a reason that Mercury is not only retrograding in Aries, but it's retrograding in Pisces. And there is a reason that Mercury didn't stop at the end of Pisces and retrograde only in Pisces, but it went ahead in Aries to retrograde back, is because your Pisces related house is somehow involved. I hope I explained that clearly. Um, so okay, for let's this time take Sagittarius as an example. Sagittarius may have started thinking about, let's say, a new idea about romance, children, or a creative project that they are fired up about when Mercury entered Aries. But for it to go forward, they may have to fix something about their home and family first. Uh, so it could be a couple who learns that they are expecting a child, but they are in, like, this is a mundane example, but they are in maybe a very small apartment, or maybe they're living with family to save money or something, and they need to look for a bigger place, but there is also the issue of being able to afford it, and so on and so forth. um, or when it was in Pisces, and Sagittarius was making these home and family plans or agreements, uh, but it got stopped short, and then you know Mercury went into Aries. Maybe it stopped short because there was going to be some entanglement regarding their love, romance, or children house, and that's why it went forward, and now it's going back to get everything solved. I hope I, I gave you a couple of good examples on that. So the signs most affected with this Mercury station in retrograde in Aries will be Aries, Gemini, Leo, Virgo again, and Sagittarius. All right, what's happening with my? Oh, I'm fine with my. I'm just. I have 30-minute increments for my video editor, so I'm always checking the time to see that I don't go overboard, and I can stop it and start a new thing, because and then it just sounds like I got cut off, or and you might be like, oh, did I miss something? But it's not. All right, March 19th, the Sun conjuncts Neptune in Pisces. This conjunction with Neptune will be the last conjunction of its kind in our lifetimes. And this conjunction reminds me of this song by Queen. All right, I'm going to sing and make a fool of myself. And I do this on purpose. Like I said, it's about retention. So, is it real life or is it fantasy? Easy come, easy go, and so on and so forth. So Neptune is dreamy, yes, but the sun is like, it illuminates, it's this disinfectant and clears up any fog. But some things are just not clear, no matter how much the sun is involved. Being intimate and maybe kissing in the sun uh, uh, is romantic and beautiful, yes, but it will never compare to a dreamy romantic kiss under a beautiful moon on a on a romantic cruise with the waves shimmering along with a beautiful summer evening breeze dancing around you. um, I hope I contrasted that well for you. So this conjunction, what you may struggle with is faith versus facts. Um, do you pursue your hopes, wishes, dreams, or do you throw it away and be sensible? Um, no one really knows the answer here. And what you are willing to risk, but what is now is if you choose sensibility over your dreams. Yes, you have guarantees with sensibility, but you might be left always wondering um, if it could have been different. This is all about faith, people. It is about your optimism and your faith um, that even if it does not pan out, that at least you tried and maybe experienced a good time with it. Sorry, I had to get a drink of water. Um, and as the saying goes, it is better to have loved than never loved at all, even if there was the pain of separation, something like that. Um, so, for example, let's take Cancer. Cancer may have a proposal from a partner to throw caution to the wind and travel to a foreign place and maybe go to school or teach there. I'm choosing those examples on purpose because Pisces is their ninth house. But Cancers, being a very homebound sign and cannot go a few days without seeing family or interacting with them, might struggle to be sensible and stay, might struggle to be, follow their dreams and stay with what they know and be sensible. So, which one do you think they may choose? I know which one they'll choose, but you guys can comment to what you think they may choose. Because again, I'm not giving you the answer only because it is not about straightforward forward lines. This is about faith and what you would pursue. And the obvious, of course, is you would pursue your dreams because you don't want to be always thinking, could have, would have, should have. The signs most affected by this transit will be Cancer, Leo, Scorpio, and Pisces. Also on this day, we will have Juno retrograde in Sagittarius. Juno was Jupiter's wife, and she is all about commitment um, and like the seventh house partnerships, so business, platonic, or personal. And Sagittarius is about foreigners, higher education, philosophy, um, long distance travel, the World Wide Web, and publishing. And optimism. It's all about optimism. So there is some kind, and I believe it entered Sagittarius. I don't know if it was the end of January or in February, but there was talk about commitment. Uh, so for if it was Gemini, Sagittarius would be their seventh house of partners. If it was Scorpio, Sagittarius would be their second house of job or income. Um, and if it's Aries, Sagittarius is the ninth house of foreigners and higher education. So there was talk about commitment here, and now it's going to go retrograde because this is serious commitment. So it's going to go retrograde because you want to review because these, like I said, we're going through these huge changes. So it's not only you; it's your partners, it's your business partners, it's family, it's friends, it's associates, it's colleagues, it's neighbors, it's the government, as we can see, it's economics, it's everything. Everything's changing. So that's why we're having all these retrogrades to make sure what the parameters are and what is going on. So yeah, and there might be, it's retrograde. There might be reversals or changes, but then hang on because Juno then will go forward, and then you might see again another reversal. It's just Juno's testing the waters here, and it's at 1 degree 57 minutes. The planetary lineup with the degrees is in the beginning of the video, so you can check that out. But Sagittarius may occupy a different uh, place in your natal chart, so check to see where you are going to be reviewing a commitment. All right, on March 20th, the sun enters Aries. Everybody, exhale. Ah. um, okay, so we spoke about Mercury entering Aries earlier in the month and being energized and fired up. I got to change because it's coming up at 29 minutes, so I'll just continue on the next segment. Okay, so yeah, we spoke about Mercury entering Aries earlier in the month and being energized and fired up and thinking clearly about our image, persona, in relations to our Aries related house. Um, uh, sorry, I'm hesitating because I wonder if I should give you an example so you can understand. So again, like Sagittarius, Aries is their, you would just count, it would be their fifth house of love, romance, children, and creativity, like a creative project or something like that. Um, so it's image or persona in as far as that house, that fifth house, um, how you are seen to maybe a lover, or how you're seen with a lover to outsiders, or how your creative project is seen, the image of it. Okay, so I wanted just to make something that clear. Um, and again, Aries might be in a different area in the natal chart for even a Sagittarius. Well, starting today, we start to also see clearly how those thoughts can be manifested, those talks, those agreements. So, hope, fired up feelings, and exciting feelings are born now. But these are not just ordinary spring feelings of fresh and newness that we've experienced before. Because every year the sun enters Aries. Every year we review this here. Um, these are special times with huge changes, and we are now being born all over again, brand new. Our Aries related house will be the birth of the long awaited, like, golden child of something new. Uh, like, uh, oh, that picture comes up in my, like, Lion King's son, Simba. When the monkey guru guy, whoever he is, holds him up to the sunlight, and everyone breaks out in a tributary song, and there's goosebumps, and it's like that moment. Well, that's what this spring will feel like for all of us. It is something unprecedented. It is something really fresh and new. I can't stress that enough, because Aries is the first sign of the zodiac. It does herald in um, spring. It is actually with the Middle East and East. That's when New Year's is. That has always been in the past, but with changes with the church and the schisms and the calendar, the Gregorian, and what things changed, and New Year's became the 31st. But in actuality, New Year's Day actually fell on the sun entering Aries. Excuse me, with the spring equinox for most of the um, for the east part of the world. So yeah, this will be a fiery year, like a yearning that eludes to Neptune's entrance and transit of Aries. Remember, I told you in previous forecast, um, this Venus and Mercury and the Sun all going through Aries, and especially we have the retrogrades of Mercury and Aries. This is a movie trailer of what to expect when, excuse me, Neptune enters Aries, and Saturn later on. So that will be that yearning, that fiery yearning, is what we'll be nurturing and experiencing and journeying through for the next 14 years with Neptune. So pay attention to when the sun enters and transits in Aries. Okay, even though, like, at the end of the month, Neptune does enter Aries, so there's not that much longer. Are you excited? I'm excited. um, and so the signs that will feel this the most will be Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. I mean, we'll all feel it, but the ones who will feel it personally will be these three fire signs, um, especially with Sagittarius, because they've been, for a very long time, their sun is being squared by a few planets, and that's why they've been, like, almost feeling like lost hope, not because Sagittarians are like the golden child of the zodiac, the ones who are always lucky. But the poor things, they haven't been feeling very lucky for quite a few number of years, and that's because of the way the transits and the planets are aspecting their sun sign. So and Leo's going through some hard aspects with relationships, and Aries is also going through a lot with being all up in their psyche and things about the past. So these three signs are going to be uplifted the most, and we'll feel it right away when the sun enters Aries. All right. So also check your natal chart for where these signs fall in your natal chart. All right. March 22nd, Sun conjuncts Venus retrograde in Aries. Now, even with Venus retrograde, the Sun conjuncting Venus is a powerful, powerful aspect that shines a radiant light on you in an interpersonal way. The focus is how you feel on the inside, letting that shine through. This can also mean your partner, whether personal or business. You stand out as the better half. of this pairing. Again, people are wanting to know your inner thoughts in this coupling. This can also mean someone from the past returning, and the spotlight is on that because it is the sun. As well, we have a last quarter moon in Capricorn, and that is significant as well. It's the beginning to an end. So think back uh, to all that was going on with Capricorn, and like I mentioned in the intro, um, is this here is when we wrap up that extended um, period of last fall and that absence that there was, and then we started filling that absence between January and February. So this quarter moon is signaling, excuse me, the beginning of the end, which will be at the end of March and going into April. Uh, So you are preparing to wrap up, maybe settle any disputes or sign agreements or the such, but it will feel like almost melancholy as you realize the efforts you have put in has borne out for you, maybe at the expense of something or someone else. Um, so, but there, Aries is a very compassionate sign. It's always fighting for the underdog. So there's compassion here. Um, but with this comes freedom where you will be happy about that. Um, because it's Capricorn. You've worked hard. You've achieved what you've achieved, even if it has been, like I said, at the expense of something. But it sets you free um, here. And the signs that will be most affected by this will be Aries, Taurus, Leo, Libra, and Sagittarius. All right. Yeah, I predict something big for Aries and Sagittarius, but Capricorn will also feel this last quarter moon, definitely. So let's throw in Cancer and Capricorn. Yes, we'll do that because Cancer is opposite Capricorn. So it is their partnership house. All right. Um, let me just give me 1 second. Okay, yeah, I ran out of time, so I had to do another thing, a session. Okay, so now we're going to start feeling um, the shake and bake. Um, on March 23rd, the Sun in Aries will sextile Pluto in Aquarius. Um, Again, Pluto is about secrets. It's about the underworld. It's about the past. It's about the riches of the earth. But most significantly, it's about your inner world, your untapped potential, or your power that may be hidden within. Today, with the sun illuminating your Aries related house, you get a sneak peek in the dark crevices of your Aquarius related house that gives you a sudden realization regarding your Aries related house, or the image of it. Uh, Maybe even a profile will give a boost to your Aquarius related house because that is where your hidden power is. So, um, so let's take, for example, Aquarius as an example. So I've mentioned that Aquarians will be exuding this aura of power and will be a magnet where people will be very attracted to them. And Aquarians don't really like people showing them emotional affection. They don't like things to be about them. But on this day and forward, Aquarians may be like an example. I don't know, at a grocery store, just picking up vegetables. And their longtime neighbor finally comes up and asks them for a date. Okay. Now, the Aquarians are feeling more like, hey, I like this affection thing. Okay. Goes deep down inside of their gooey self because Aquarians, there's a famous saying that Aquarians are like rock candy, hard candy. Once you get past the tough exterior, they're all very gooey. Um, so yeah, and cracks the biggest smile with the cutest dimples, and the girl or guy just faints in their arms. No, but yeah, seriously, it will feel something like that. Remember, we've been in Pisces weather for a long time, and we've been sort of alone, or like with social media, we don't get to interact like we did anymore. So this is going to feel like new, fresh, and springy because it's Aries. Now, even if you are attached, this will this will still feel good. Not that you may act on it, but life is sort of injected into you, and then you inject that life into your existing relationship. Okay, so don't think that your Aquarian partners are going to be, cheating or something. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that, I'm just giving you an example of how this may play out. It will be something regarding your Aquarius related house that may have been hidden. And with this interaction with the sun in your Aries related house, it brings out this hidden power, excuse me, in your Aquarius related house. And the best example I could have given was something like Aquarius, and what's going on with them, and you can direct it to your own self, or wherever Aquarius and Aries is in your chart. Um, and this aspect, the signs that will feel it the most will be Gemini, Leo, Libra, and Aquarius. Okay. Now, on March 24th, Mercury is Kazimi in Aries. So pay attention to this day and the communications taking place, because it is a marker. You may actually find something that was lost on this day too. But pay attention for any yearning that you may have regarding your Aries related house. And this is a boost of like renewed, fresh vigor, energy. Make the most of it and be adventurous on this day with whatever communication that comes up, because it is a fleeting energy that burns out, as anything that comes that close to the sun cannot last, in this instance, more than a day. So take advantage of that. Um, all right. Now, on March 27th, Venus is retrograde um, back into Pisces. It, and Venus conjuncts Neptune in Pisces. And this is at the very critical 29th degree. This is super important. Venus will retrograde back into Pisces and conjunct Neptune at those critical degrees. Another powerful signifier. The universe is giving you an entry to go back to maybe someone or a life that you may not, that may not work out. Or maybe because with the changes you've been feeling, you might feel going back to what you knew, like something of nostalgia of the evil that you know for now is much better. Maybe it is because you feel unsteady in this new world that's creeping up on you, and want to um, have that familiar and, yes, even dysfunctional old world that you had a steady foot on. As they say, it is what it is. And sometimes we have to do two steps back to go forward again. And you will realize when you enter this old familiar world that life has changed, that people have changed or are changing. And more importantly, you have changed. You've outgrown it all and can't really go back to being sacrificing or small anymore. These realizations can only be understood through the senses and being engulfed in that environment. Now, when I say you will realize that you just don't fit in that old lifestyle, I'm not saying there will be resentment. It's here that you start healing and start a process of forgiving yourself. After all, it is Pisces, and you are coming back home. You are coming to the end of your Neptune and Pisces journey. You're actually coming full circle. The very yearning that started 14 years ago regarding something about your past or your hidden house, um, you are coming, you come to the realization that you always had what you were yearning for right there in front of you, inside of you, all along, your inner child. Um, um, Maybe a fear of letting out that inner child because you had made a promise to never allow yourself to be vulnerable that way again. But it is that vulnerability, and yes, getting hurt by being vulnerable, that teaches you what true spiritual compassion and forgiveness is all about. This will be very cathartic and powerfully spiritual, as it is an ending, anticipating a new beginning. It's something like Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz, where she always wanted to escape where she was, yearning for something else. Uh, but her coming back home, it has sent her full circle, and she had always what she was yearning for right there in front of her, right there inside of her. Okay, I'm trying not to be emotional because I'm like looking at this chart, and um, so the signs that will be, we will all feel this. This is the very critical 29th degree, but the ones that will be feeling it the most will be Taurus, Cancer, Libra, Scorpio, and Pisces. And I am going to throw in Sagittarius for good measure, because I know what Sagittarius have been going through with their Pisces house. Now, on March 29th, when I mentioned we're anticipating the ending, expecting the ending, anticipating a new beginning. Well, the new beginning um, is on this March 29th with a new moon, partial solar eclipse in Aries. Beautiful. And Mercury will retrograde back into Pisces. So the new beginning does start with this new moon partial solar eclipse in Aries. It's a new opportunity. It is um, but just when you thought, I mean, it is a new opportunity, yes, but just when you thought you were preparing for this new leap, that new opportunity is already there at your doorstep. But you may find yourself indetermined with all these feelings of jumping into the new or going further. And you may want to stop and reflect, to think a little bit more. Oh my God, my pug is snoring so loud. And reflecting and thinking a little more is okay too. Um, that's the beauty of this. This is it's an eclipse. Eclipses are powerful, and it's a solar eclipse. It's the sun, very powerful. So yeah, it is okay to take time and say, wait, let me just reflect a little bit more. And anyone who tells you it is a sign of weakness, no, it is a signal of their own fear, okay, that they may be projecting onto you. Because allowing yourself the time to reflect on where you have been can only lead to a better future, a more stronger step into leaping into the future. Remember, everything happens for a reason, and if you have faith, then you know the meaning of faith moving mountains. And if you don't, or if you're still confused about that, the end of this year, you will have that faith. Because nothing really ends. It's transformed. And I don't know if you remember the forecast that I gave in October regarding the total lunar eclipse in Aries, when I said, whatever comes up here, whatever ending comes up here, is renewed in the spring. Maybe you should listen to that October scope, because um, this is a new beginning to that ending. Um, it is related to that ending, okay, but it is a powerful end of the month. As the next day, well, with this new moon partial solar eclipse, the signs that will be most affected, we'll all feel them, but the signs that will be most affected will be Aries, Gemini, Leo, Libra, Sagittarius, and Aquarius. Uh, and then the next day on the 30th, Neptune enters Aries. Um, and Neptune entering Aries, like I said, is something being born, and it's mostly about the yearning that we will have. And I'm not going to go too much into it, because it will just be at the very, very early degrees, and we will just be stepping into it. I don't want to clutter this month with that, because that will be mostly April. But I, I I want to stay on focus with this month and the ending and the wrap up of all these planets going retrograde, and the Kazimi, and all these good stuff. So, um, sorry, I'm just looking at my notes. with my pug snoring so loud. Yeah. So with Neptune entering Aries, um, the signs that will feel it the most will be Aries, Gemini, Leo, Libra, Sagittarius, Aquarius, and Pisces. This is a very um, profound moment, the latter half of March. And I hopefully I gave you like a more calm breakdown of each of these energies, because and it might be what's the word? It might be misleading is the wrong word, but for the lack of a better word that I can't think of right now, um, it is going to be huge. This month is going to be huge, with unprecedented things happening. But I just don't want to overwhelm you. And most thing, the three main things that you want to concentrate on this month is these ingresses with Aries, definitely the Virgo total lunar eclipse, and the aspects at the very critical 29th degree of Pisces. Those are really the three main things. Everything else is just noise. And I would rather have you digest that. And then, like I said, I'm going to be putting out a more detailed scope for each sign later on. But I will go over each sign right now and just tell you which areas um, will affect you the most. Okay, Aries. So, Aries, this month, Mars is direct, but still in its shadow of the degrees that it's repeating from back of October, no, November. So, and then it will start going full force in April. So you are wrapping up any family and home issues and plans, um, especially anything having to do with maybe your mother in particular or a matriarchal figure. Also, this month, your image, profile, identity, your physical self, wardrobe, makeup, jewelry, and how that personifies you is in full focus. With Venus retrograde, you might even go retro. But again, just be careful with any permanent physical changes when Venus is retrograde. And you might be having someone or something coming back from the past with this retrograde. But I go into full detail um, when I'm breaking down the aspects. So listen to the breakdown of the aspects as it is all about you, and we'll give you all the info you need, especially about also Mercury. So this whole month is all about you. So listening to the whole thing is really your full detailed horoscope for March. And happy birthday, by the way, because this is your birthday month. Now, the other major thing is the Virgo eclipse is ending something about most likely your job, but it can be health, um, or your routine or your schedule about something here. Just be careful with making any hardline decisions on either day of and on the day of the eclipse. As I have mentioned before, but maybe you're a new listener, even with full moons, yes, a full moon illuminates things. Yes, and this is a total lunar eclipse, but it is still the moon. The moon is hidden. It is at night. Our emotions are hidden. So there is still an aspect that's hidden from you. Um, so that's why I say, and moons are emotional. It rules Cancer. So yeah, just maybe just give yourself uh, a little time before making any hardline decisions during this eclipse. Okay. And then also any creative projects, anything from the past, anything in secret, money, your private self, are all wrapping up this month here. And it's hitting at the very critical 29th degree. I mean, there's no maneuver. It's a completion and ending. Um, it is, as I said, explained in the intro, or breaking down the aspects, it's the long kiss farewell, as it will go down in three different parts. And I've explained that also in the intro. Okay, Aries, that's what this month is about, and that's the focus for you. And I will be putting out a more detailed um, scope later on in the week, and I will do definitely a very detailed mid-month to the end of March because, like I've explained, there is a lot this month, but I'm trying to keep it like calm and methodical. So take care of yourselves. Taurus. Hi, Taurus. Okay, so I've done March's scope a little differently this month. I have broken down each major aspect in detail where you can understand how it will affect you. What I'm explaining here in this part is just the overall feel of this month for you. So, which is in regards to, one aspect is communication, commuting, and in regards to your home and family, and especially your mother or a matriarchal figure. You are seeing movement and action here. There's more of that to come in April. The other thing about your home, apartment, family, parents, and your clan is yet to have answers. As excuse me, Mars started that convo in December, but retrograded and is yet to go forward in those Leo December degrees. This also takes you back to maybe 2018 and the circular motion or tug of war you had regarding all that is family and home. Uh, the other aspect is your alone time, secrets, the past, your psyche, and any long term medication or alcohol use is ending the old way of doing things, but birthing a very new, fresh, and energizing thing here for you. There is a lot of communication, discussion, thinking, and planning. Just be careful with secrets, as when Venus goes retrograde, it might turn against you, and or your secrets may be revealed that you may not want to be revealed. Venus is going retrograde, and that it's doing a rare retrograde, and that may also bring someone or something back, and especially with you because this is your 12th house of the past, and Venus is doing this rare retrograde. The other part is anything having to do with your friend groups, associations, gym memberships, camaraderies, close circles, your hopes, wishes, and dreams of your future vision of how you want to be seen within this group is coming to a close and coming actually full circle. The coming to a close part happens in three stages. and I explained that fully with a breakdown. Your career and status and your job money sector is also being activated this month. The last thing is the Virgo eclipse, total lunar eclipse. Something will be eclipsed regarding your fifth house of love, romance, children, creativity, and gambling. The old way of doing things is what is being eclipsed out. Um, and it may be related to a routine or a ritual, or maybe a health regime that you have been repeating but getting the same old results. And it's now built up where, if there's any feelings of exploitation here, it's coming to an end. With this eclipse, it is calling for doing things differently that benefits your own health and routine. All right, I'll talk to you in about a week because I'm going to be doing, as I mentioned earlier, a weekly scope in detail, an upcoming weekly scope in detail, and a detailed mid month to late March scope. Talk to you soon, Taurus. Hi, Gemini. Okay, Gemini. I've done Marchoscope a little differently. I've broken down each major aspect in detail. So to understand your scope this month, you would have to listen to the breakdown, and it does explain what you'll be feeling. Um, what I'm explaining here in this part is just the overall feel of this month in some significant areas for you. Okay, so anything having to do with your communication, commuting. Um, Siblings, extended family, cousins, a very, very close circle of people, language, eyesight, social media, um, all that is and you actually rule that third house. But Leo is what is the ruler of your third house. So it has to do, um, and because Leo is being opposed by Aquarius, the problems or issues, obstacles that you may have been seeing here um, has been in relation to your career and status um, house, which is your 10th house. But it is yet to go forward. You're still in like a holding area, staging area, because Mars is has yet to go direct in Leo from the December degrees that it ingressed over, and that will come in later in April. But also, this takes you back probably to 2018 as you had a 18-month tug of war regarding how you are heard, your need to be heard, and information in general. You'll be seeing huge changes here after Leo completes this with just communication style, or maybe another language because your ninth house of travel is lit up as well. Moving on, the next area that will be affected this month. Excuse me. Sorry. um, is your 11th house of friends, groups, associations, memberships, again, camaraderies, um, and your hopes, visions, and dreams of the future of how you want to be seen. There is a new birth here. There is talk, um, a lot of talking, and very bright, fresh ideas regarding this friendship or this circle, and how you want to be seen amongst this, how you want to be seen, your vision of your future in and about friends or circles. So there is a lot of talk here, and there is a new birthing happening. But this is not any um, old um new spring deal here. Um, I mean, every year the sun enters your friendship house, and you get to take a look at it and see it for what it is. But this year, because we have major planets in your 11th house, in Aries, Mercury, Venus, Neptune ingressing in there. And there's retrograde too. This means that there is something very new that'll be um, happening here. And you will have this, some sort of a desire, some sort of a yearning. But I go into detail when I break down the aspects like I explained. Um, the other part of your life that will be affected here is you will start seeing a wrap up, a slowing down, an ending in anticipation of a new beginning regarding your 10th house of career status, reputation, and authority figures. And this house can be about your job or the career that you're hoping for, but it is also the house of status, as in married, not married, dating, not dating, engaged, not engaged. It's the profile, it's the image that you set out of how you are coupled or not. And it is coming to an ending, a conclusion. some kind of a spiritual or faithful compassion here. It is full circle. It's coming full circle. So there's a lot going on. Listen to the breakdown of the aspects to learn more about that. And lastly, we do have mid month an eclipse in Virgo. Virgo is your fourth house of home, family, parents, and your clan, your country, your pride in that. What has been taken for granted here, what has been maybe exploited, is ending. The old way of doing things is there's an ending here. There's an eclipse here. Just trying to not make any hardline decisions, either day of and on the day of the eclipse, as something still is hidden from you because it involves the moon. The moon is hidden. It is at night. No matter how bright the moon is, there is something still behind the scenes. So just to give yourself a few days um, before you make any hardline decisions about family, parents, your home, um, or it can be an apartment or what have you. And it also does have something to do with maybe health or ritual or schedule of some sort. So keep that in mind. But it's calling for a new ritual, a new schedule, a new routine. Something has to be revamped. All right, Gemini, I'll talk to you soon because I'll be putting out a more detailed weekly scope and then a mid-month, definitely a detailed mid-month to late month, late March scope because there is, it is, there's a lot going on, but I'm trying to keep it calm and take you guys step by step. All right, talk to you soon, Gemini. Hi, Cancer. Okay, so I've done Marchescope a little differently. I have gone in full detail, breaking down each aspect and how it would relate to you. So you'd want to give that a listen for Marchescope. On this part, I'm just going over what areas of your life that will be affected. But you'd need to listen to the detailed aspects to know how. All right, so Cancer, it is all about your image, your persona, your profile. Your physical appearance and how you are seen. That is, it is you have movement in this area. You are picking up where you left off back in October, November, and Mars just started going went into forward motion. So all of March and April, there will be much more to say about that. The next area of your life has to do with your career, your status, your reputation, um, and authority figures. Uh, this is huge for you. There is talk, discussion, communication, really clear, exciting ideas here, as well as illumination and a birthing of something new in regards to your 10th house, which is quite quite big for you. Um, every year, the sun enters Aries, but this year it is heralding something regarding a 14-year journey ahead for you. So whatever career choice you're making here, and again, career can be about career as in job, but it is much more than that. It is your reputation, your status. Status is married, not married, single, not single, and so on and so forth. And authority figures are huge here. Sorry about that. So there is a birthing of something really new and exciting and dynamic. And it has to do with money as well. We have a rare Venus retrograde. So please listen to those aspects as I break down what Venus retrograde may mean. The other area of your life is your third house of communication, commuting, siblings, cousins, extended family, um, neighbors, a very, very close circle of friends. It's social media. It is language, a language foreign to yours, and vision, eyesight is also included here. So there is a total lunar eclipse in Virgo mid month. And there will be something that will be eclipsed out that is no longer serving you, or the old way of doing whatever it is that's being eclipsed here is outdated. With all these changes coming about, if you feel exploited in any way, that is going out. There needs to be a new approach, a new way of doing things here. And it might also be related to health or a routine or a schedule change. Something needs to change here. Do give yourself a couple of days after this eclipse. Um, you don't want to make any hardline decisions because it still involves the moon. No matter how bright the moon is at night. It is hidden, so something is still hidden from you. and the moon is emotional. So just give yourself a couple of days before making any hardline decisions. And you are quite you're ruled by the moon, so you are very keen on anything that might be hidden. Okay, and I break it down much more in the scope. Now, the other area of your life is your ninth house of higher education, foreigners, long distance travel, um, philosophy, publishing, and the World Wide Web. You are coming for full circle here, Cancer. Something is ending here. You have been confused and dazed, and it's all been foggy, but no more. It is coming to a close. But like I mentioned, coming full circle. And to understand that, just listen to when I break down the aspect. The other thing is I've titled it "The Long Kiss Farewell," and it happens in three stages. Again, I explain it in the aspect in the scope. So that's what's going to be covered for you, Cancer. The other thing that you're waiting on is regarding your income, your job. Something started happening back in December, but it went on a hiatus of some sort. The discussions dropped because you became busy with something. But that those degrees will be repeated um, mid to late April, and then it'll start going into new territory. So I think for most of you, it will be a new source of income or a job. The end of the month, I also mentioned in the intro that there is some kind of a financial shift, um, financial situation that happens. So yeah, just be careful with your money or overspending. All right, Cancer. I will be doing another detailed weekly scope, and then definitely mid March to the end of the month. After that weekly scope, I'll go in full detail as there is a lot, and I'm just trying to keep it really calm for everyone, and taking it one step at a time. All right, Cancer. I'll talk to you soon. Hi, Leo. Hi, dear Leo. Hope you guys are doing well. Okay, so I'm doing Marchoscope a little differently, where I have broken down each major aspect in detail, where you can understand how it will affect you in what way. And in this part, what I'm doing is just breaking down um, what areas of your life that it will be affected, and just giving you a couple of hints or clues. But to understand your March scope, you'd have to listen to the aspects. All right, Leo. So everything about the past, secrets, behind the scenes, um, maybe taking care of someone, maybe even taking care of pets, um, any medication use or alcohol use. All that has been you have been seeing forward action movement in your 12th house of behind the scenes, and you are diligently working on something behind the scenes that you had started back in October, November, maybe researching something. And in April, Mars then transgresses new degrees in Cancer. So there will be new things that you'll be doing behind the scenes. The other area of your life that will be dominated by March actually is your ninth house of foreigners, long distance travel, higher education, publication, and the World Wide Web. There is something very, very new, very interesting, very unique, and very fresh here that will begin for you. You might have thought about it before, or sorry, that's my pug snoring, or sometime this month, maybe probably towards the end of the month when we have a partial solar eclipse in Aries. So that's a new opportunity. Um, sorry, that will be birthed then, that you'll be very, very excited about. There's talk, there's communication, agreements, suggestions, thinking, planning, organizing, something about this area. And we do have a rare Venus retrograde in Aries. So there's revision, reviews, but also it involves something about money. This is a very exciting time for you in regards to your ninth house, Leo. There's something really special that's coming up. I just don't. I'm hesitating because I don't want to go into a long-winded thing because I've done marchoscopes different, but just pay attention to the aspects that I explain in regards to Aries, and you can throw off any questions you have in the comments, and I'll answer them. As well as I am going to do a detailed weekly scope next, and then definitely a full detailed mid-month to late March scope because this month is it's unprecedented. There's a lot going on, but I'm trying to keep it calm and and just take it like one step at a time, one date at a time, so that you're not overwhelmed. But Aries is going to be something here regarding your ninth house is going to be big for you. The other aspect that I'm concerned about and want to stress is your second house of job, income, and your value system. There is a total lunar eclipse in Virgo in mid month. So something is ending here, something is being eclipsed out. For a lot of you, I think there is an ending to a job, but there may be like a span of time before you start another job. For some of you, for others, it's just you're changing to a new job or a new position. Um, but what is hinted here is that the old way of doing things regarding your job or getting income is outdated. If you feel exploited in any way here, or you are not being recognized, yes, it will definitely end one way or another. Um, this is calling for a new way of doing things, calling for carving your own niche, carving a new employment. How can I say it? A new demand for your services. The old way is just gathered too much dust and it's not serving you. So the universe is eclipsing it out. And there will be a new way, a new creative way of doing income. It might be entrepreneurial or a startup. But the only thing I'll say here is just do not make any hardline decisions. I mean, it's an eclipse. So it's really the universe that's in control, not really us. But if it comes to you making a decision, try to give yourself a span of a few days after, because it still is about the moon, and no matter how bright the moon is, it is still at night. It is still hidden. There is something hidden from you, um, and the moon is, um, ruled by very sensitive Cancer. So there's emotions involved here, and hardline decisions are not recommended when something is hidden from you or when it's emotionally driven. All right, so give yourself some space and time before any decisions. And the other area of our lives, and your life in particular, is the confusion, the days, um, the no boundaries regarding your house of sex, death, and taxes. And what we it's just the title of that house, but it's regarding joint finances, the mortgage, inheritance, the taboo, secrets, um, the past, government benefits, um, credits, loans, and all that. So that has been all at sea, and you've had a 14-year journey. Now it is coming to a very melancholy close. You are coming full circle here. There we are coming to the critical 29th degree, and I've titled it "The Long Kiss Farewell" because it is in three stages, and I go over that in in breaking down that aspect or those aspects. So listen to that. All right, Leo. So I'll talk to you in about a week. Thank you. Bye. Hi, Virgo. Hope you're doing well. Okay, so this month's scope I've done a little differently. I actually have broken down each major aspect in full detail, where you can understand how it will affect you. And what I'm explaining in this part is just a brief breakdown of which areas of your life that March will be affected. And I will be having a detailed weekly scope next week, and then definitely a full detailed mid-month to late March scope, because there is a lot going on, unprecedented things going on that I want to keep calm about and take you in stages. But I thought this would be the best way of breaking down this month is by breaking down the aspects and just doing it this way. All right, so first off, right off the bat, your friends, groups, circles, associations, membership, your hopes, visions, and dreams of the future has been you have been seeing slow and steady forward action, and it is Mars in Cancer. You are repeating those actions from back from October, November, and then as it picks up speed in April, you'll be hitting new grounds with these friends. Um, Also, the 11th house, I don't know if I've ever mentioned in the it does rule, it does sometimes have um, a second marriage, a second or third marriage involved with it. Um, and the other area of your life that Mars will affect will be your 12th hidden house, behind the scenes or in secret. And you have been working diligently on something behind the scenes. So just putting that out there. Now, the other area of your life that um, will see a lot of talks, discussions, agreements, um, and planning is your eighth house of joint finances, the mortgage, inheritance, government benefits, loans or credit, um, the past, taboo, secrets. It's your house of sex, death, and taxes. And death is, like I've mentioned before, that is a no go. Only God knows that. It's referring to a rebirth, like the phoenix rising from the ashes. So, Virgo, this area of your life is going to see a huge transformation. Um, there's a new birth here that is setting up the next 14 years of doing things. And it will have a lot of hope, a lot of clarity, a lot of really firebrand way of doing this. The eighth house is also the house where how others value you, and it's where you benefit from other people's money, usually in lump sums. And it, yes, can also mean sex, like physical sex, but it's usually intimacy. But you're going to see a birth here, a very special, new, invigorating, fiery birth here. Um, every year, the sun at this time enters Aries, but this year it's something different. We also have a partial solar eclipse in Aries at the end of the month. So a new beginning, a new opportunity. What ended, um, something ended here back in October. And if you've listened to your October scope, I did mention that with that ending, there's a new beginning related to it. And the new beginning is beginning at the end of this month. We also have Venus, which attracts money, love, fortune, and fame, doing a rare retrograde. So just be careful with joint finances or any secrets, as when Venus goes retrograde, that might get reversed. Or depending on your natal chart, you might come into more money. It just really depends. But there's something really big here. A lot of talk, a lot of discussion, clear ideas, and it can also signify somebody or something coming back from the past. And I've broken down what happens then in the aspect when I detail it out, so you can listen to that. And the other major aspect is all about you. We do have a total lunar eclipse in your sign. So anything and everything having to do with your image, your physical appearance, your persona, your profile, but also your essence. And you are the ruler of the sixth house of health, habits, routines, um, schedules, rituals, and it's the small pets and all things of that. What this eclipse is about, Virgo, is the old way of sacrificing is not going to cut it anymore, because you are all about service, and that's all well and good. And you if you feel you have been used and abused and exploited, this eclipse is powerful. It's going to take out whatever or whomever that has been exploiting you in whatever area. But it is about um, doing things a different way, servicing a different way, a unique way, carving out a niche way of doing things regarding your image or your service. So listen to the breakdown to get more information. And then the last aspect here, Virgo, is the ending, the conclusion, and coming full circle regarding your seventh house of partnerships. May they be personal, business, platonic, or otherwise. If you are partnered and are have been having serious problems, I'm not talking about trivial problems. If there has been serious problems here, um, this is coming to a close. And I've titled it the long kiss goodbye because it is happening in three stages. And I've broken down that in the scope so you can listen to how that is going to play out. But um, but if you are happy and your partnership is solid, this is not about ending that partnership. This is about ending an aspect of the partnership that has been maybe confusing or just out lost in the fog. You There's clarity here, and it is coming full circle. There's something about coming full circle here. Okay, Virgo. So yeah, listen to the detailed aspects, and you'll understand much more. And I will talk to you in about a week. Take care. Hi, Libra. Hi, sweet Libra. Hope you guys are doing well. Okay, so I've done Marchescope a little differently. Um, what I've done is I've broken down each major aspect in full detail, where you will and can understand how it'll, in what way it'll affect you. And what I'm explaining here in this part is really sorry about that, is what areas of your life that will be affected in March, and maybe giving you one or two hints or clues about it. So, and then I will have a detailed weekly scope next week and do a full detail mid month to late March scope, because there's a lot going on in March. It is unprecedented, but I'm trying to keep it really calm and take you through stages of it, even though I still break down the whole month. Okay, so what I'll start with your 10th house of career, status, reputation, authority figures, um, and all that. You have been seeing forward movement here, forward action regarding this area of your life. And it is actually going over what you started back in October, November. As it picks up speed, it's Mars in Cancer. As it picks up speed, in April, it'll cover new ground, new territory regarding your career and your status. And status refers to married, not married, single, not single, things like that. Authority figures are in here. And it can have to do also, yes, with your job, your career. So many of you are changing careers, shifting careers. If you haven't already, you have either put in notices or gotten notices. So there is movement here. But regarding new careers, you'll probably have more info later next month. Also, you started working on something behind the scenes or in secret, or about taking care of someone back in December, but there was some sort of a stop or a hiatus there. Um, that is still on hold, and that will pick up at latter part of April, beginning of May, and that's Leo. So did I say your 12th house? I'm sorry. I didn't mean, it's not your 12th house, it's your 11th house of friends, groups, associations, and memberships of any kind. I don't know where I got 12th. Yeah. So, yeah, something started in December, and it stalled, but it's going to pick up the latter half of April into May. So, look for new things going on there. Sorry about that. I've got this bug in my throat. The other area of your life that will see a huge transformation is your 8th house of joint finances, the mortgage, intimacy, inheritance, government benefits, credits or loans, the past, secrets, taboo, and all that good stuff. Taxes also, we'll throw in that for good measure. There's a lot. Your focus is going to be all over that this month. We have Mercury, the Sun, Venus, all in here, and there is a rare Venus retrograde here, as well as Mercury does a retrograde here. So there will be discussions, agreements, planning, um, ideas regarding this house of yours. But what's significant about this is that there will be a brand new beginning towards the end of the month, because we have a partial solar eclipse in Aries. So there is a new beginning and a new opportunity that will be coming in. Just the usual warning of Venus going retrograde. Just be careful with spending money, um, as you know, Venus brings love, money, and fame. But when it retrogrades, you can see that the other aspect of Venus, and you will feel this the most, as Venus is your ruler and your benefactor. So Venus is always looking out for you, even when it's going retrograde. So you might actually find more money here with joint finances, or something like that. Um, or you may attract, because the 8th house is also the house where other people value us. So we also get, like, we benefit from other people's money, and usually in lump sums. But when Venus goes retrograde, we get her, and I'm doing air quotes, and for lack of a better word, we see her ugly side. But since she's your ruler, you still benefit from her somewhat. So thrifting, um, uh, if you have to purchase something, used items, or maybe lightly used items, it will benefit you here a lot. The other thing I wanted to say about this, oh yeah, I mentioned something new, a new birth of something. Venus retrograde also brings something or someone back from the past, and I break down what that means and how that may play out when I go over the detailed aspect of it. but definitely a huge, huge change for you with your eighth house. Now, the other major aspect is we have a total lunar eclipse in Virgo, and that is your 12th house of secrets. Sorry, I had an itch in my back and I couldn't reach it. Secrets, the past of taking care of someone, any long term medication or alcohol use here, confining spaces. If you have been feeling exploited, used or abused, or yeah, anything that has reached its limit, the universe will be eclipsing it out. Um, what this eclipse is mostly about, Libra, is the old way of doing something is not going to cut it anymore with all these new shifts and changes that are going to happen. We have to be carving a new, more niche way of doing things in regards to Virgo. That's my pug snoring away. Oh my god, he's so loud. Uh, so so yeah, it's the old way. And of not being appreciated, not of being exploited, is not going to work. That will end. Now, it is an eclipse, so if you have to make any hardline decisions here, try to give yourself a few days space of it, because it is the moon, and no matter how bright it is at night, uh, it's still the moon. It's still hidden. It's still at night. Our emotions are ruled by the moon, and they're hidden. So something is hidden from you. Try to keep it, and especially it's your 12th hidden house. So I have no clue what's going on here, but give yourself some space and time with any hardline decisions. The other area of our life is the grand finale of our Pisces related house, as Neptune, after 14 years, is exiting. For you, it's your sixth house of health, habits, routines, scheduling, pets. Small pets are in here, and it's your house of chaos and gossip. Now, it also has something to do with spirituality or being alone, um, or compassion, um, or pain. There's all this woven in here, and you know this is coming to an end. This is coming like full circle, and I've titled it "The Long Kiss Farewell" because it happens in three stages, and you can listen to the intro. I tell you what those three stages are and how it plays out. But it is a melancholy ending, um, and it is a house that relieves you. There's much relief here. Okay, Libra. So I'll leave you with that, and I will be talking to you in about a week. Bye. Hi, Scorpio. All right, Scorpio. So I'm doing Marchoscope a little differently, where I break down all the major aspects in full detail, where you can understand how in what way it'll affect you. But what I'm doing here is just giving you like an overview of what areas of your life it will impact, and a couple of clues or hints here and there. So, and then I will have a detailed weekly scope next week, and then a very detailed mid-month to end of March scope, because there is a lot going on. There are unprecedented things that are happening this month, but I'm trying to keep it um, sort of a little calm and taking it one step at a time. Um, but the monthly scope uh, aspect breakdown gives you the overview. So, what areas of your life is happening right now? Did I do this right? Sorry, Scorpio. One second. Yes, I did it right. Okay, so first let's talk about your ninth house of foreigners, long distance travel, higher education, publishing, and the World Wide Web. You are repeating what was set in motion back in October, November, and what got stalled. Now you're seeing forward movement here. There is action being taken place, but it's still covering those degrees. By April, Mars starts hitting new territory. So there's new action that you're going to take regarding this area of your life. The other thing is what's on stuck mode is your 10th house of career, status, your reputation, and authority figures. Something started here in December, but went on hiatus as soon as January came. You do get to pick up where you left off by mid-April through May. I know it's taken that long for you to sort out your career, and it does sort of take you back 7-8 years ago, as we had the nodes in Leo and Aquarius. So whatever was happening then, uh, explains what you're ending up with now. Well, now that it's stuck, but once Mars enters Leo, then you're going to see a shift of career. Now, don't forget, your 10th house is not only about career as in job; it is also about your status, your position, your reputation, and authority figures who make or break you here. And status is, married, not married, single, not single. It's your profile status and what have you. The other area of your life that'll see a huge change is your sixth house of health, habits, routine, scheduling, rituals, small pets, and the sixth house covers also chaos and gossip. So there's a lot of movement here this month. Talks, agreements, discussions, ideas, planning, brainstorming, excuse me. And we also have a rare Venus retrograde that will happen in Aries, as well as Mercury will retrograde here in Aries. So there's something here that's happening that's also unprecedented. That is also going to be very important. And there is a very new beginning in Aries, a beginning that takes us 12, 14 years into the future. Uh, it's not like, every year the sun enters Aries and you get to review the sixth house of routine and health, but this year it's a new beginning. We have a partial solar eclipse in Aries, so a new opportunity here. And with what it's looking, it can be associated with either a startup, a business, or a job, because there is something, a new schedule being worked out here. Now, Aries also rules the first house of image and profile. So that somehow is involved in all this. Just be careful with the Venus and the Mercury retrograde. Mercury is about, like I said, discussions and agreements. So just have your backup plans if anything is reversed or canceled or changed. With Venus, just no no new purchases or any physical changes, because it does cover the sixth house of health. No physical changes or new purchases, because when it goes retrograde, you might not like what's happening. Also, Venus retrogrades do bring in people from the past or something from the past. And since it's doing a rare retrograde and there's something brewing here in Aries, you might encounter that. But I break that down if you want to know more info. The other major area of your life that will be affected is your friendship house, your friends, groups, associations, memberships, your hopes, wishes, and dreams of your future, of how you want to be seen amongst friends. You're not an island to yourself, so your friends and groups help with that. There is an eclipse here. Something is being eclipsed out. Something that is not serving you. Something that may be weighing you down. Um, the focus is really on, if there is has been any exploitation here, it will be removed. It will be, the universe will eclipse it out, and the focus really is the old way of doing things. Any service related thing, that's my pug snoring, um, with your friends and groups will not cut it. There has to be a new approach, a new way of doing um, friends and groups, basically. And it might be because your focus is really going to be on maybe home and family and this career thing. So it might be that a group or a friend are holding you back in somehow. In any case, ouch, try to, any hardline decisions, try to wait a few days after the eclipse, because it is the moon, and no matter how bright the moon is, it is still at night. It is still hidden. It is Emotions are hidden, so there is something hidden from you that you're not aware of. And making decisions, hardline decisions, with emotions involved is not really, I don't know, it's not really good, because it ends up reversing. So just give yourself a few days, give yourself and others a few days. And then the other big area of your life is your fifth house of love, romance, children, creativity, pets, and gambling. Um, and it can be physical gambling like casino gambling, or just the gamble of life. And it's your house of fun, just having lighthearted fun. Um, it is coming to a close, and it is coming actually full circle. And I've titled it "The Long Kiss Farewell," as it happens in three stages, and I break that down in when I'm detailing the aspects. So you may want to listen to that. All right, Scorpio. So take care of yourselves. I will talk to you next week. Hi, Sagittarius. Hope you're doing well. Um, okay, Sag, a lot going on. So I've decided to do Marchoscope a little differently for this month. I've broken down each major aspect in detail where you can understand how it will affect you. And what I'm explaining in this part is just the areas of your life that will be impacted, and giving you maybe one or two clues, or hints about March. Um, because I will be doing a detailed weekly scope next week, and I will do a full detailed mid month to end of March scope, because there's a lot going on, and unprecedented things and changes happening. So I'm trying to keep it calm and take you a step by step. Okay, so first let's discuss Mars and Cancer. That is your eighth house of joint finances, intimacy, inheritance, government benefits, taxes, credits, loans, the past, um, taboos and secrets. So you now are seeing forward movement here, that started. Sorry, that's my pug snoring. Um, that started in October, November, but stalled, um, and now we're seeing forward action. So you are very busy regarding this area of your life, as well. Um, you will see new territory. Break ground once Mars passes over these old degrees that it transgressed, and will start new degrees in Cancer. So you'll start breaking new ground here. The other thing that's happening for you that is important is Mars regarding your ninth house of foreigners or higher education, long distance traveling, publishing, or the World Wide Web. Uh, Something started here in December, but it took sort of a hiatus. Um, Come April, mid April, and going forward, you will be going over that ground again. Okay. And then hitting new areas of that. But I just I just blanked for some reason. I don't know why. That was weird. Anyway, that's what one area of your life is what's happening, and I took you a little bit into the future with that. Now the other area of your life that's lit up big time in March is your fifth house of love, romance, children, creativity, gambling, and pets. It's your house of light-hearted fun. It's not a contractual house of partnerships. um, so here there is going to be a huge shift, a birthing of something new, um, some big change here. So we have Mercury coming into Aries, and I break it down for you. It is clarity and discussions and agreements, but we will have a retrograde. So look out for reversals and cancellations, and have backup plans, as well as a rare Venus retrograde in Aries in your fifth house of love and romance. So again, if everything is going hunky dory, peachy keen, you might see a reversal of that, cancellation or a change. The other thing, Venus with a rare Venus retrograde is it can bring something or someone from the past, either for God, I can never remember that word, and that really bothers me. And I had it in the like tip of my. It's not. Well, one part is its resolution. If there's any. Oh yes, so it's silly me. So it brings somebody from the past either for a resolution, because there was no resolution before and the universe is demanding it, or reconciliation. And if you survive the Venus retrograde, then it is solid as a rock. Uh, but this is the, like I said, birthing of something new here. Um, a creative project, maybe. If you're older, it might be going into business with your adult child, um, or it can be about babies. Um, but something is being born here that's like the golden child, something very very exciting, actually. And remember, Sagittarius, you have been going through a lot of I'm laughing with you, through a lot of hell, um, because your sun has been aspected with a lot of squares, and your fire just had diminished, like hanging on to a thin thread, and you are booyed by B-O-U oh my god. You're being thrust. um I have to see how it is. Whatever. Anyway, you are being thrust, catapulted into the sun again. Your fire is going to be lit up again. This Aries transit is your saving grace. Definitely, your fire is coming back. Um, and like I said, just be careful with the retrogrades. Just have backup plans, and also regarding money, just be careful with money, because we also do have Pisces. There is some financial thing going on at the end of the month, like globally, which will affect everyone. So just be careful with money, with assets, and yeah, Neptune and Pisces ironically have something to do with money, as well as Venus. So yeah, money's all up in there. Now the other thing that's happening is we will have a total lunar eclipse in Virgo. So Virgo rules your 10th house of career, status, reputation, and authority figures. So something is being eclipsed here. Um, if there has been any abuse or exploitation in anything surrounding this, the universe will not have it. It will be eclipsed out. And it can have to do with something regarding health or a routine or a schedule. There's something involved here. What this is calling for is the end of how it has always been done, because there's a shift to everything's new. Um, New things are happening um, all around us and within our own lives. So there's a call for a new way of doing things. So a new way of your career to move forward. And career also, don't forget, it's not only career as in job. It has to do with also like status, single, not single, married, not married, and it's about your reputation, and it is about authority figures who can make or break you. So look for um, look for those signals. And the last most important thing is regarding your fourth house of home, family, parents, your physical home or apartment, your country, your clan, your pride. That has seen a huge, huge transformation. It is coming to a close. You're actually coming full circle with this. Neptune is leaving Pisces, and I'm calling it the long kiss farewell. And because it happens in three stages, but very cathartic, very healing, but full circle. So I break it down, and it's just very long, and um, you would need to hear that breakdown to understand. But there's something that's ending here, um, Sagittarius, uh, that yearning that you've had and that has never really has always almost been within your reach, but not quite. Um, that is ending. It's coming full circle. So listen to the breakdown, and there will be more information on that. As I said, it happens in three stages. So sorry, I will. I don't know if I mentioned it, but I will be doing a weekly scope next week, a more detailed one, and then a very detailed mid-month to late month, because you can't digest everything, and it would be just too long. So I'm going to go into um, like stages to help you understand it. All right, Sagittarius, I'm going on. I guess I'm tired. I'll talk to you soon next week. Hi, Capricorn. All right, Capricorn, I'm doing something new with the March horoscope. What I've done is I've broken down each major aspect in detail, um, where you can understand how and in what way it'll affect you. And what I'm doing here is just giving a short synopsis of what areas of your life it will affect. So let's start. And the other thing I wanted to mention is that I chose to do this because because there's a lot happening in March, um, unprecedented things. So I'm taking you in stages, because then I'll have a weekly scope next week, and then a much detailed mid-month to late March scope because of these huge changes. And I just want to keep it calm and take you in stages. I think that's best. So let's start with Mars and Cancer and Leo. So you have started to see forward movement regarding partnerships since late February, and partnerships as in platonic, personal, and business. Um, Regarding the areas that you experienced with partners back in October, November. So you're covering those degrees, those conversations, and forward movement. And um, once Mars picks up even more speed and into April, you'll start covering new ground with partners here. Then it'll enter your eighth house of joint finances, intimacy, taxes, government benefits, credits, loans, secrets, the taboo, inheritance, and the past. You did see action in December, but it stalled in January as Mars went retrograde. Now in mid-April, it'll cover those degrees and then cover new ground. So you're going to see some transformation regarding your eighth house of joint finances. And remember, the eighth house also covers the house that other people value you, and most definitely how you benefit from other people's money. It's usually in lump sums. All right, so you'll start seeing forward movement in that area of your life, and you are covering a lot of expenses for looks like more than one person or so. So money is at the top of your mind for you. You are very concerned about that. But see, with this, with Aquarius, and I'm not saying this to any other sign, but I know what you're going through, so I'm explaining it to you. With Aquarius and with Mars with Leo and all these aspects with Pisces and Aries, what you get out more is when you pull resources. Um, going it alone or trying to control um, this money situation is not going. It's going to hurt you or hinder you more than if you're pulling together. I just wanted to put that out there because I know you're taking care of a lot of things and money is very important to you. All right, moving on. Um, the what you'll see that'll happen in March is, which is going to be huge, is your fourth house of home and family. It's Aries. Um, Mercury, the Sun, Venus. So there's going to be a lot of talking, conversations, agreements, discussions, ideas, but clarity of thought regarding your family, your home, your physical home. It can be an apartment, your parents, your country, your clan, and all that. But you will be experiencing this the benefits of Venus in Aries. But just Mercury will go retrograde in Aries, so just have backup plans. Any agreements, ideas, or what have you might change or get reversed or canceled. But it it might have to do with communities, neighbors. Something is in the mix here. The other thing is Venus, when Venus goes retrograde, and when Venus goes retrograde, Venus attracts money, fortune, and fame, and when a planet goes backwards, that is lessened or withdrawn. So again, any reversals, cancellations, or what have you. But it can also be, I've seen it where some people find even more money or hidden, stashed away money. It's family here, so maybe family wealth, generational wealth. Something is being born here, something new. This is not, every year the sun enters Aries. This time of year, Mercury enters Aries, but this year it's a very special new beginning, a very special new spring. There's something being born here that's of a golden child, um, uh, that will affect. And you're very lucky to have Aries as your fourth house because it's a very emotionally rooted house. So if you remember in the October scope, when I said October or November, I think, or both, is whatever ended back then, there is a new beginning here, a very special, a very bright new beginning here that is has the leader of the zodiac, Aries, leading it. So very nice, Capricorn. I'm very happy for you, and you are going to be very happy about this. And I've told you before, you have a move, a huge move. You and Aquarius, even Aries. In any case, moving on. The other area of your life is your ninth house of long distance travel, foreigners, higher education, publication, and the World Wide Web. There is a total lunar eclipse in Virgo, so something will be eclipsed here, Capricorn. Um, Something that is no longer serving you and actually holding you back. Um, if you feel used, abused, and exploited in any way, shape, or form in regards to this house, um, the universe will not stand for it. It is not in your hands anymore. It's an eclipse. But well, first before I say the but, what it's calling here for is the old way of doing things is not going to cut it because we have all these major new shifts going on. What is being called for here is a new way of doing things, and it's Virgo, so it has to do something about health, about routine, about scheduling, maybe about pets as well. So uh, Oh, the but. But um, if you are able to carve out a new niche in regards to this, then you make yourself like you you set yourself at the table. You set yourself in demand here in somehow, some way regarding your ninth house. The other thing is give yourself a few days after this eclipse if you do need to make hardline decisions. Um, it's the moon, and I don't care how bright the moon is. The moon is still at night. It is hidden. Our emotions are hidden. There is something hidden from you here. Um, and besides, the moon is emotional. Um, and you don't want to make any hardline decisions when emotions are this high, and nobody knows that more than you. You're like, just leave me alone and let me make my money. Why is everybody whining? Mm. um, so yeah, just give yourself some space and time, give others also space and time. And the other huge thing is Pisces. That is your third house of communication, commuting, your neighborhood, neighbors, siblings, cousins, extended family, social media, language other than your own, and just simply your need to be heard. Um, there is an ending here, and it's actually coming full circle um, uh, to something that you've had all along, and you are realizing it's very cathartic, very, very melancholy, very bittersweet, but there is an ending here. Um, but it is, I've titled it The Long Kiss Goodbye because it's in three stages. And with a breakdown, I explain those three stages and how that'll happen. All right, Capricorn, take care of yourselves. You know you are my shamelessly my favorite sign. So looking out for you and wishing you the best. I will talk to you in a week. Hi, Aquarius. Hey, hope you guys are doing well. So I've done Marchoscopes a little differently this month. I have broken down each major aspect in detail where you can understand how it will affect you in what way. What I'm doing here in this part is just giving you a short synopsis of which areas of your life will be affected and just giving you a couple of little clues and hints extra. So let's begin with Mars. So you have been seeing forward movement regarding your schedule, your routine, any rituals, uh, small pets. The sixth house is the house of chaos and gossip as well, but it's usually like your 8 hour routine days, 8 hours for sleep, 8 hours for work, 8 hours for relaxation and entertainment. And you have been, you're covering the ground that you started in October, November regarding your schedule and routine. So you're covering that ground. And as Mars picks up speed, it will also cover new grounds. You'll be doing new things in this area. Now, I haven't mentioned this to any of the other signs, and I don't know why. I just remembered to mention it to you, so maybe it's karmic, but it's Cancer that rules your sixth house. So there is also something about home and family, maybe parents or a mother, matriarchal figure in this routine and scheduling thing. Okay. And then, sorry, that's my pug snoring away. And then Mars, like I said, when it picks up speed by mid-April, late April, it will then go into Leo, and that is your seventh house of partnerships, platonic, personal, and business, any type of partnerships, really. That you also saw movement there um, in December, um, but then it stalled. It went on a hiatus of some sort. This picks up at in April through May. So you'll be covering those areas that you had in December and covering new ground as well here. So any delays or misunderstandings or cancellations or separations or whatever, you get the reversal. You start to work on that. The other big area of change that we're going to be seeing and movement, a lot of talking, is Aries. That rules your third house of communication, commuting, siblings, cousins, extended family, social media, language different than your own, vision, and commuting. I did mention your neighborhood, your neighbors, and definitely it's definitely the house of your need to be heard. So there is a birthing of something very new here that is going to be extending for the next 14 years. Yes, Neptune will be entering Aries for the next 12 to 14 years, but this month is a prelude to that. Uh, it is about also about image or how you are seen within this context of the third house. Um, And I've told you before is that now that Pluto is in your sign, you are attracting a lot of attention because you have this, you're exuding. Pluto is giving you this aura of power. So this is all intertwined. We have Mercury entering Aries. So a lot of discussions, conversations, agreements, ideas, clear, fresh, new, concise ideas that you're going to be talking in regards to your third house. Um, you are going to be very talkative. You are going to have the right words and know how to communicate. My God, my pug's so loud. um, and then we have Venus in Aries. So Venus does attract love, money, um, notoriety, and things like that. So you might have been seeing some of that also occurring in and or around any of these areas in your third house. Uh, but just the warning is that Mercury will be retrograde in Aries, so have backup plans to any agreements um, you might discuss. Um, and also, when Venus goes retrograde, just be careful about new relationships or spending too much money in these areas. But then we have a brand new beginning here that's being birthed towards the end of the month because we have a partial solar eclipse. There is a new opportunity, and if you remember your October scope, I with the ending, the eclipse in Aries, then I did mention that there will be a new beginning here, and this partial, maybe a partial opportunity, is the beginning, birthing of the beginning of a birth here. Okay, the other area of your life will be your eighth house of joint finances, intimacy, inheritance, um, taxes, government benefits, loans, credits. It's the house of secrets, the taboo, and the past. It is the house where you benefit from other people. And yes, other people's money, where it's like in lump sums too. And how other people value you. It's Virgo. Virgo rules this house for you. So again, there's something about a routine here in the mix, but there is a total lunar eclipse here. Um, if there is any feeling of exploitation or being used or abused or what have you, this is going to be eclipsed by the universe. Um, and what it's signifying is the old way of doing things is not going to cut it anymore. Because with all these new shifts, there is a need for a new way of doing things here. And Virgo is all about service. So keep that in mind. Um, but try to avoid any hardline decisions. Give yourself a few days after, give others at that same time, as it is the moon. And I don't care how bright the moon is, it is still at night, it's still hidden, and there is still something hidden from you. And it's the moon, it's emotional. You, of all people, you, emotionalist Aquarius. No, I'm joking. But I'm just saying, making hardline decisions with high emotions involved is not a very good idea. So just give yourself some time before you make those decisions. And then the last thing, of course, is Pisces. So your second house of job, income, and your value system. There is a grand finale here. We're hitting the very critical 29th degrees. It is a very melancholy sort of ending, um, but we're coming full circle here. And and I've titled it "The Long Kiss Farewell" because it happens in three stages. And if you listen to this to the breakdown, you'll understand exactly how and when it's all happening. All right, Aquarius, I will be talking to you guys next week. Take care. Hi, Pisces, the best for last. Um, So, Pisces, I've done Marchoscopes a little differently this month. I have broken down each major aspect in full detail where you can understand how it will affect you. Here in this part is what I'm doing is giving you like a short synopsis of which areas of your life it will be affected and just peppering it with some clues and hints here and there. So, let's start with Mars in Cancer. Um, Cancer rules your fifth house of love, romance, children, creativity, pets, and gambling. And you started seeing a forward movement here, late February, but you're covering the degrees that um, were back in October, November. So you're covering those degrees in this house, and then you in by April you'll be hitting new ground with this area. Then Mars will move on to Leo, and that's your sixth house of routine, health, habits, and scheduling. So you'll be covering those areas, and maybe something changes here. Let me get a drink of water, sorry. The other area of your life that you're going to see a lot of movement in and a lot of changes is Aries, your second house of job, income, and your value system. So there's there's a birthing of something new here that's very profound, very fresh, very new, and very, very exciting. That actually takes you 12 to 14 years into the future. Okay. Um, we have Mercury, Venus, and the Sun in Aries. So, Mercury coming into Aries, you're going to have clear, concise ideas, discussions, and communications regarding job, income, and your value system. Just remember that Mercury does retrograde here, so have backup plans, or whatever is agreed upon. Just expect some kind of a change or a reversal. Like, don't take what is being said exactly as is, just to make room for adjustments. Yeah, have backup plans. And then the other thing is Venus in Aries. You've probably been seeing some kind of maybe more money, maybe just some kind of a notoriety here and what have you. Now, Venus will do a rare retrograde. So just be careful with money, or any kind of reversal regarding your job or income. And also, we are having some kind of a financial shift event at the end of March. So just again, be careful with spending. Any kind of thrifting, or picking up maybe slightly used things or what have you, definitely is a bargain during a Venus retrograde. Venus retrograde also can sometimes bring somebody or something from the past. Um, and since your value system here is involved, and if someone does come back from the past, it really is maybe something about a resolution. There's talk of some kind of a resolution. If it is reconciling, if you two are able to survive the Venus retrograde going into the future, then it can be solid. But I break that down again in the forecast and in the breakdown of the aspect. But there is a brand new beginning here that is ushered in with a partial solar eclipse in Aries at the end of the month. So a new opportunity, a new beginning. And if you remember, back in October, when I said there's an ending here, I did mention that there is a new beginning regarding this area of your life, and in this time period. So look for that opportunity that's going to come up. Maybe a new job, maybe a new position. Um, um, and I know most of you have maybe more than two jobs. So it can also be letting go of one job, and then going just staying with one job. Anyway, it's something about your career, your job, and income. And then the other area of your life that will be affected is with Neptune leaving your sign, Pisces. Aw, uh, I, I know exactly how you feel about that. Um, that's why for you it's going to be very, very personal, and very bittersweet. But um, there is a finale here. There is a coming full circle here that is melancholy and just healing and beautiful. And I've titled it The Long Kiss Farewell because it does happen in three stages. And again, in the video, I break it down exactly how and when it happens. But it is about your image, about how you are seen, and your profile. And I am doing a detailed weekly scope next week and a full detailed mid-month to end of March scope, as there is a lot and unprecedented things that are happening here. But I'm trying to keep it calm and take you stage by stage. But yeah, there's definitely a lot happening, and this Neptune transversing the very critical 29th degree of your sign is huge. The other part of your life that will be affected, Pisces, is your seventh house of partnerships. It can be, um, yes, personal, but it can also be platonic and business. So something is being eclipsed here. Um, we have a total full moon lunar eclipse happening mid-month. And whatever that has been um, used, abused, or exploited in any way, shape, or form, um, the universe will eclipse it. Whatever is holding either you or partner back will end. Now, if you are in a very loving, secure, solid relationship, this does not apply to your partnership. I'm going to repeat this again. This does not imply that you're separating or divorcing. Not that at all. If, however, you have serious problems, and I'm not talking about trivial problems, um, like I saw, well, I was watching today with Trump and Zelensky. Oh my God, that was hilarious. They acted like husband and wife. But those are trivial problems. They can be overcome. But I'm talking about serious problems, and there's something that's not good. Yes, it will end. This will be the eclipse of it all. But again, um, with an ending, there's a new beginning afterwards. And if there is a choice to stay, um, because it's an eclipse, so we don't really have. It's not our decision. The universe is ending it. But if there is a choice to stay, what is being asked is there has to be a new way of dealing with partnerships. The old way will just not cut it anymore because there's just new shifts and new things happening for all of us and your partnerships. They're going through new things, so there has to be a new way, a new niche of doing things. And I explain it a little bit more. I break it down a little bit more in the scope, but I'm taking this extra time for you because it is your seventh house of partners. Um, Sorry, that's my pug snoring. Um, and listen to the intro because I explain we will feel the absence of something more than we will feel the presence of something else. And I go in a lot more detail. I just can't do it here because that'll take about another 20 minutes. Um, but what is being called for is a new understanding. And don't forget, Virgo, and I go into detail again in the scope, is uh, Virgo is all about service um, at the sacrifice of its own. So keep that in your mind as well. But what universe wants is for Virgos to step into the limelight and do things differently, and that affects you as it is your partnership house. And again, partnership doesn't necessarily only mean personal partnerships. The other thing is, like I told you, there's something new happening in your fifth house of love. So there might be also a child, something about a child, or maybe a baby, or maybe an adult child um, that's very bright in this picture as well. All right, Pisces, take care of yourselves. I will talk to you guys next week. Take care.